about that. So I'm like literally looking at the exam and typing the review while I'm looking at it. So that works good because then we know, you guys will know pretty much exactly what will be on the exam, right? Just by looking over, and we'll go over these questions right now. Let's see, I want you guys to know, I won't have like a problem that you have to work out. I will do that source table as extra credit like I had said, okay? Are there any questions?
I have a quick question. Not so much regarding the new content. Are we still allowed to turn in any of the 3 assignments that we missed?
Oh, yes, please, please, please.
And it's okay if they're written, like we print them out, do them by hand, and then we can scan them and send them to you?
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks for asking. And yeah, let's please do that so we get good grades, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's see. All right, there's some on here. I picked some questions, which I don't know, maybe some people won't really like them, but it's just kind of the knowledge of understanding certain aspects, and I think it'll just give you a good foundation, you know, moving forward from here, all about statistics. So I'm gonna keep typing this. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. So I have a German Shepherd puppy. He's a year and 3 months. And last night he was attacked by a pit bull at the park. And so I was in the animal emergency room with him till about 2:30 in the morning, which you know, I'm 45 now and I'm not really used to staying up till 2:30 like I used to in my heyday. And then we had to go back and like get him, I don't know, around 8:30 or 9. So I have, you know, no excuse that I'm sitting here now trying to cram all of this. I apologize. I should have, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? I should have just done
Your dog okay?
Yeah, it tore, there's 2 punctures on his chest, and it pulled the skin and it separated it from the muscle, and it tore his muscle a little bit in his chest. So they had to go in obviously and stitch that up. And then since it separated that skin, it like created a pocket. And so they're afraid that, you know, fluid will build up or an infection or something. So he has a drain there now. And his ear got pulled a little bit, but those were kind of superficial. But it was really just that big chest wound. So he's kind of all stapled up and stitched up on his chest. But so he's just laying here right next to me. He just had another pain pill, so he's loopy. But he's a 90 pounds. He's ginormous. We had no idea he was going to get this big. And I don't know, we feel really bad for him. We were completely traumatized last night. It just, yeah, it was a bad deal, but I'm glad he's okay. Obviously it could have been
at least he's okay.
It could have been so much worse, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, so and it's so sad because he's just a happy, sweet dog. He's really big, and I know he really scares people because of his size, and you know, he's intimidating. But he's such a sweetie, and he just wants to play, and he loves people, and he loves kids, and he loves dogs, and so I don't know. I think he's going to be traumatized now from this, but hopefully he doesn't turn like aggressive. I don't think he would, but I don't know.
Probably more scared, if anything.
Yeah, I feel like, right, he might just become more timid and
A little
kind of
paranoid.
afraid of dogs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so poor baby. And the crazy thing is the lady was yelling at us, like he loves to play fetch, and so my husband has one of those chuck it things, and he throws that tennis ball and it goes so far, and Aggie runs after it and gets it, and so he has a leash. It just is dangling behind him because he runs, chasing this ball. And so what had happened is he ran and he got to the ball, and he was just sitting there next to the ball. He does that when he's real tired. So he didn't take it back right away. He was just sitting there. And then we heard these people yelling like, no, and we looked, and across the park, this pit bull was just darting for him. And it just, I don't know, it was so crazy. Like they were just yelling at us, and the lady was like, you have your dog off leash or whatever. I mean, and we were sitting there like, are we crazy? Like, your dog is the one that came up to, like, my dog wasn't doing anything. He was just
It was the
playing.
owners of the other dog who were yelling at you?
Yeah. And
That's odd.
it was so weird. And the teenager started like yelling at my husband, called him every, 4-letter word in the book. And they would pull their dog. He would not let go. And they were pulling him. And then when the dog would release, they would let it go. So then it would get back on him. And so he technically, like by the time I got over there, because I was walking my older dog, he was like, I saw him just pulling on his leg, and it's like, my dog was just laying there, like wasn't even doing anything, and they were just yelling. And she was like, every night we see your dog running. And it's like, I was like, but, and I hate confrontation to my core. I hate it. And I was just like, he's playing ball, like he's just running and chasing a ball. And she's like, well, he's off leash. And I was like, well, what about your dog? Like, I don't understand. I was like, that makes no sense. And anyways, they went away. They left. I mean, obviously we were wrong too. You're not supposed to have, your dog, even though he had his leash on, you're not allowed to like not be in control of him. Right. And so I know that's where we were wrong for that. And, but I don't know. I just thought it was a little odd.
And they had their dog on a leash and they had him controlled?
No, exactly. That's what I didn't understand.
Oh my God.
I mean, both of the dogs had leashes, so they were quote unquote literally leashed. But I mean, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words like you guys are. And I don't. My husband, of course, gets more angry about things and stuff. And he was just like, he was just so mad. But I was like, well, I mean, technically we're wrong, we're not allowed to do that. And, but I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I don't want to see those people, but I guess it could happen. She said that she's seen us there before, obviously. I mean, I don't know why their dog got away and decided to go run after him and do that, but anyways, I don't know. We're obviously very confused and kind of traumatized by the situation. Okay, so let's see. I have it right here, as you can see. It's not very good because I was literally looking at the test when I was making it. Do you guys want me to post it right now or just kind of talk it through? What would you all prefer?
I prefer you talk it through.
Talk it through? Okay, I'll still post it. Let's see, stats exam 4. Study. Okay, so I'll still post it, but let's just kind of go through it. So if y'all listen to the videos, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know why it's called F. And oh my gosh, I was like that classic student that hadn't read the book. And apparently, you know, I'll admit to you, I still have not read this part. I don't know of chapter 11 where they were talking about R.A. Fisher. So see, we learn something new every day. Fisher was the guy that came up with the F distribution, or with ANOVA. So R.A. Fisher, I don't know if it's discovered or if it's like invented. I'm not sure what the word you use, but he discovered ANOVA. And so that's why it's called the F test, right? See, you learn something new every day. So R.A. Fisher discovered, or came up with, or proved, I don't know what you say, ANOVA and the F test, and that's why we call it the F test. All right, so that'll be on there. All right, what does the null hypothesis state, and what does it look like in symbolic notation, right? We know that the null hypothesis states that there will be no difference among, and you'll see this a lot, right? They always want to say there'll be no difference among population means. Okay, because if you remember, even though we're not measuring populations, we are trying to make estimates and guesses about populations, right? Inferential statistics, we use samples to make our best educated guess and inference about a population that might exist, okay? So whenever you see the null hypothesis and they talk about population means, remember that's what we're talking about, okay? So there's no difference among population means. And then, I'm sorry, my phone was ringing. All right, so there'll be no difference among population means. And then in symbolic notation, remember it's H. I can't get a little sub O, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That the HO equals, and let's see, maybe I'll just draw it on here because I can't do that. I have a hard time doing those mu's also. So let me blow it up here just a little bit. Get that way smaller. Okay. So we know that the HO, that the population of the mean of one population will equal the mean of another population, okay? So that's what the null hypothesis looks like, okay, in symbolic notation. Of course, a research hypothesis or an alternative hypothesis will be H1, and they state that the population of one mean will not equal the population of another mean, okay, or that there will be a difference among population means, okay. A significant event is considered, what was I doing there? A significant event is considered, I would say that it's not likely due to chance. And let's see, we'll type that one so I can fit it. Not likely or not probable, right? They probably have some sort of word of probability in there. Not probable due to chance, okay? It is, right? And that's what we're looking at when we say the P is less than 0.05. right? Remember, when we get to say that the probability or the P is less than 0.05, that's when we get to say our results are significant. Okay, and so a significant event, when we get a P of less than 0.05, we get to say that it's significant. What we're saying is that it is not likely that this event just happened by chance. Okay, meaning, or the opposite of that is that there really is a difference between our groups. Whatever it was that we did, if we gave somebody Tylenol, or if we gave somebody Motrin, or if we gave somebody the vaccine and they didn't get the vaccine, the fact that those two groups had a different mean in their symptoms, that it wasn't just due to chance, it was really due to our manipulation of the independent variable. What we did caused these two groups to be different. It didn't just occur because everybody woke up and ate Wheaties that day. Okay, it's like literally what we did. Okay, so that I probably went a little bit too far into it, making it more complicated than it needs to be, but just so you guys can understand that. Okay, that's what we're talking about. All right, HSD, Tukey, comparison test, a priori, and hoc test, post hoc, sorry. So all of these go together. Okay, I'm gonna erase this right here, over here real quick. All of these go together. And so let's start it off this way. A comparison test, or the comparison tests, it's technically plural, you have several different types, okay? A priori, or a priori, I'm not sure what they say, and then post hoc, okay? So comparison tests are performed with ANOVA because we don't know where the differences are when we get a significant result in ANOVA, right? And that's because we have 3 or more groups. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but let's just go over it again real quick. When we have a t-test, we are only comparing 2 means. So when we, or 2 groups. So when we get a significant result, then we know that those 2 groups are different from each other. Okay, there's no further analysis that needs to be done. However, if you have ANOVA and you have 3 groups or 4 groups or more, and ANOVA comes back and it says, yeah, good job, you found a difference. It's like, okay, great, we have a difference, but where? Which groups are different? Okay, so ANOVA tells us we have a difference, it doesn't tell us where the difference is. Okay, so we have to do comparison tests to further analyze 2 group, kind of like takes it by pair, like by twos, or it's like we're going to check out these 2 means, and then we'll check out these 2 means, and then we'll check out these 2 means and figure out which ones are different. Okay, a priori is a test that is done beforehand, right? Or it's built in to the analysis. It's built into the data analysis, and it's you can think of it like it's planned. Okay, it's planned before. A post hoc is done after, right? It's done after the fact, and that's literally what it stands for, right? Post hoc stands for after the fact. So a post hoc is done once you have found a significant ANOVA. And the most popular post hoc is the Tukey, right? It looks like turkey with no R. So Tukey, okay. And the Tukey test is the HSD, okay. And if you remember in your notes, it stands for the honestly significant difference. Okay, HSD stands for honestly significant difference. Okay, so that's all of those. So just so you know, anyone who's had me before knows I do this, but just in case. So like this is probably 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions, 4 questions, 5 questions. All right. So even though it only shows, you know, I have like a couple questions here, there's several built into one. Okay. Mean squares. So mean squares equals, and this one is just